Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. So day 4 of our 5-day S&C workshop for basketball players, athletes in general, really, for that matter. But obviously, we're going to be focusing more on leveling up your game. So today, I'm actually going to kind of do a little bit more doodling around. We're going to talk about how to look at programming your upper body days and your lower body days. Now, obviously on Monday, we talked about your testing. Tuesday, we talked about more about like nutrition, lifestyle considerations. Wednesday, we talked about plyometrics. So if you haven't had a chance to go watch those videos, honestly, just 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, go watch them. You'll get plenty of value out of it, especially if you're not sure how to structure things going into your off season, like I keep mentioning. So today we're going to talk about how do we go about laying out our lower body and our upper body days. Now, we're going to start with upper body because it's actually pretty straightforward. So if we look at upper day, okay? Now, we're going to keep it super simple because like I said, a lot of times I find the guys who are focusing too much on upper body fail to realize that, you know, we need some kind of level of strength, but then after that, it's pretty much all skill work, okay? So you're always going to have your warm-up, all right? And again, remember your warm-up's going to probably come off the back of your testing. So depending on your mobility and stability and performance kind of stuff that you went through on Monday, a lot of those exercises are going to feed into your warm-up. So you get your heart rate up, you get your exercise in from those testing procedures, and that's your warm-up. You might add a few other things in there just to kind of get you ready to go. But for the most part, your warm-up's maybe 5-10 minutes, okay? So 5-10 minutes, and then we're going to go into our work. So you can make things complicated. You can add some power work. You can add some ballistic stuff. So let's say, for example, we're going to throw in some plyo push-ups. All right. So what I want you to think about is, all right, what I'm about to do, I'm about to do some pushing and some pulling, right? So both horizontally and vertically. So if I wanted to just maybe focus on doing horizontal plyometric work, I might do plyo push-ups. So literally just flying off the ground, clap push-ups. I might be throwing a medicine ball in the air, but maybe we're going to do like 2 sets of 5, all right? So that's just going to prime us. That's going to get us ready to go so that when we actually get into our strength work, we're probably just feeling a little bit more sharp. Things are moving a bit quicker. So off the back of that, we then maybe do a vertical pull. So that might be more like a overhead med ball throw, okay? So again, we're not going to keep it super complicated. We might do 2 sets of 3, 2 sets of 5. So where we're just taking that medicine ball, trying to throw it over our heads as high as we possibly can. This is going to get us obviously powerful in a vertical perspective, right? Kind of similarly to like what you would do if you're doing a vertical jump. So this is something that you could do in a lower body day as well. But let's just say, for an example, we're going to use this in an upper body day. Then off the back of that, we just get into our strength work. So if you are at the beginning of your off season, you're going to try to focus more on rep ranges between anywhere from 6 to 15. So let's say we talk about, we're going to do, let's say horizontal push. Let's just keep it simple. We're going to do our bench. All right. We're going to do anywhere between 3 and 4 sets. And we're going to focus on, let's say week 1, you're going to do anywhere from 12 to 15 reps, all right? We're going to keep it super simple. Then we're going to pair that with some kind of row. So any row, TRX row, single arm row, chest supported row, as long as we're getting that push and pull, and you always want to kind of keep these together because it's going to save you a lot of time. It's actually shown to give you a bit more results or optimize kind of the progress because it's an agonist and antagonist, right? So basically the opposites working together. So again, 3 to 4, and we're going to do 12 to 15, okay? So again, you don't have to make it super complicated. And then week 2, maybe you're going to focus on going 10 to 12, right? Same thing here. Week 3, you're going to focus on going 8 to 10, same here. And then on week 4, okay, you have the option of doing a deload week. So a deload week, what happens here is that we usually cut our sets in half. So you might only do 2 sets, and you might go towards the lower end. You might only go 8 reps. You still want to keep the intensity fairly high. You can actually drop the intensity compared to week 3. So what I mean by that is, let's say if you were doing 8 to 10 reps with 40 kilos on your dumbbell bench press, well, maybe we're going to drop down to like 35 or 30. And the idea is that when we do a deload, we actually let our body recover from all the stress that we put it under, aka exercise, aka workouts. And then off the back of that, when we go back to our week 5, which is going to be basically the new week 2 or week 1 of month 2, all these weights should technically go up. All right. So off the back of that, then we're gonna have the same thing happen with the rows. You can do a deload week, and then we're gonna go into a vertical pull and a vertical push. So an easy one is, let's say we do pull-ups, okay? So you might go 3 to 4. Here you might go till failure now, right? Because some of you guys might find it tough. You could use the assistant machine. And similar to your week 1 to week 4, you could just kind of bring it down over time and up the weights, right? So usually if you're higher the rep ranges, the lower the weight's gonna be. So if I'm getting 12 to 15 reps on, let's say 20, I might be getting 30s for 8 to 10 as an example. So you do that, and then you might pair that with some kind of shoulder exercise. So this is actually gonna go by pretty quick, right? Because we're pairing these together. So imagine that's A1, A2. So you do your bench, 60 to 90 seconds off, you do your row. And then you're gonna go pull-ups, 60 to 90 seconds, and then you do your shoulders, right? So you would just complete these. I'm just making sure my timer works here. But you would do your bench, your row. Your bench, your row, your bench, your row, your bench, your row. And then when you get to your next superset, you're gonna go pull-up shoulders, pull-up shoulders, pull-up shoulders. The key when you're doing more of like a hypertrophy type workout, which is going to be like a muscle building workout, is you actually want to take as much time possible as you need in between your sets to make sure that that weight you're using continues to go up. All right. If you start going shorter rest times, like 0 to 30 seconds, you're going to find it really difficult to continually lift that same weight every set, which isn't the end of the world. But when we're looking at just kind of building a bit of a base and prepping, we want to make sure that we're lifting the heavy weight and we're lifting it for a good amount of reps between 6 and 15, okay? So again, I'm just throwing these rep ranges out. You can make it your own, but try not to go below 6 for the most part, because then we start getting to our strength zones, which is what you want to focus on maybe later on in your off season. So same thing for your shoulders. You're gonna go maybe 3 to 4 sets, right? And then here, again, let's say instead of 12 to 15, you want to start with 10 to 12. And then in week 2, you're going to go 8 to 10. Week 3, you're going to go 6 to 8. And then on week 4, it's your deloads. You're doing sets of 6s with a little bit lighter weight, right? It's really straightforward. That's going to be your upper body work. And at the end, you might want to do a bit of accessories. So maybe your accessory work is going to be a bit of core work, okay, and a bit of arm work, right? Or upper back work, okay? Whatever you want to do, right? This is where it's completely up to you. And I would recommend you take your accessory work and you kind of basically pick the exercises or the areas of your body that you're weakest in order to kind of set your accessory work. So most people, it's going to be core, so hip flexors, whatever. For a lot of this stuff, I like to just do 2 sets, maybe 3 sets max, all right? And again, usually going to go kind of 10 to 15 plus reps, right? So leg raises, hip flexor work, side plank, hip touches, shoulder or plank shoulder touches, whatever you want to do. There's a million exercises. You just pick some that work. As long as our core is generally quite strong, you're gonna get the most out of it. If your core is quite strong and you're just keeping like regular maintenance type stuff, you're still gonna get a lot out of it. But if it's weak, you want to focus on those weak parts. It's usually gonna be lower back, kind of lateral core, and hip flexors, in my opinion. If you want to add some arm stuff, 2 sets, 3 sets max, just to get a pump, that's completely fine. But this, for the most part, is you can do this 2 times a week. And I would actually recommend you try to maybe fit in some skill work alongside this. So maybe you actually kind of go on the lower end of volume. So you might only do like maybe 3 sets twice a week on most exercises, but then you're in the gym and you're doing your dribble work. And if you're playing a little bit anyways, you're going to be getting contacts and bumps. You're going to be pushing and pulling people anyways. So you're getting a lot of volume, generally speaking, if you're still playing. But in the off season, I'd massively recommend try not to play too much. Try to just focus on lifting, get stronger, get faster, get more explosive, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. That is what you're gonna focus on from a upper body perspective. Now, tomorrow we're gonna kind of put things together a little bit more in terms of what like that final program looks like, and I'll have a bit of a sample one for you. But for a lower body day, so if we kind of switch this now, so now we're gonna focus on lower day, all right? Warm up, same thing, 5-10 minutes, okay? So 5-10 minutes, you're going to be focusing on just making sure that all those things we did in our testing are kind of coming to fruition here. We're focusing on the little things. You might be doing some glute bridge work because your glutes are a bit weaker. You might be doing some, some extensive plyometrics, but maybe stuff for your feet, right? For your ankles, if you've had injuries, whatever you're trying to kind of improve, especially from an injury perspective, you're going to throw in here. So if we just throw in prehab, okay? We're going to throw in a few exercises in there. And then again, you might throw in a few exercises just to get you ready for the workout. Might do some agility ladder. You might do some single leg balance stuff. But I would always throw in single leg balance work. All right. Single leg balance. Okay. And again, here you might just do like 2 sets times 60 seconds, trying to make it tougher over time. All right. Now, once we've done our warm up, so this section here, okay, maybe 10, 15 minutes max. Okay. That's what we're going to be spending time on. And then for the rest of the session, that might take you about 45 minutes max again. Okay, some people might take longer depending on your training history and stuff. But usually what I like to do is we're going to have a bit of a plyo section. Okay, so plyo, and we're going to have 3 exercises, right? So we're going to have 1, 2, 3. And this is where it's really hard for me to tell you exactly which ones you're going to focus on because everyone's going to be completely different. So what I would recommend you do is you start with extensive plyos, right? So maybe you're going to do some kind of jumps or skips, let's say. So if I change this to green here because my markers aren't the best. So let's say we go skips, all right? So maybe we're going to do like 2 sets times 60 seconds. Different rhythm, different flows, light on the feet, just kind of getting us ready to go. Then we might go into some box jumps, right? So super low level. Okay, 2 sets of 5, 2 sets of 6, whatever. Remember, we're not trying to do too much too early. We want to make sure we're adapting, we're recovering. And then off the back of that, maybe I know I'm not very reactive, so I'm going to do some assisted pogos. Okay, so again, I'm throwing a lot of these out there. If you do your testing and you find out that you're not explosive, you're not reactive, and you're not overly strong, then obviously in our plyos, we're going to focus on low-level extensive stuff, low-level reactive stuff, low-level explosive stuff, mechanics work, right? Rhythm and coordination so that you can build up to those intense stuff, right? Those intense exercises towards the end of the summer. Now, once we've done this, then we're going to have a strength phase, okay? So we're going to have a strength phase. And here, I usually like to just pick maybe 1 or 2. So let's say we're going to go trap bar, all right? So we're going to go trap bar. And again, similar to what we did with our upper body, week 1, we might just start doing 4 sets of 8 to 10. And then week 2, we're going to do 6 to 8. Week 3, we might go 4 to 6. And then on deload, we're going to do 4 sets, or 4 reps, sorry, fairly low, just nice and light, just to make sure that when we come back around again, things are easier, we've adapted, we're stronger. So after we've done trap bar, then we might do something more related to hamstrings, okay? So this could be anything. It could be a Romanian deadlift, could be a Nordic hamstring curl, could be prone machine hamstring curls. Same thing, we might go 3 to 4 sets. Same thing, we might go 8 to 10 reps, we might go 6 to 8, we might go 4 to 6 on week 3, and then maybe 4 or 6 reps after. Again, that's quite low for hamstring work, but just to give you an idea. And then at the end, we might have one last bit of accessory work. Okay, so accessory work. So usually for accessory work, especially at the beginning of our program, I'm going to go ankles. All right, I'm probably going to go glutes maybe as well. Okay, but generally speaking, I'm going to focus on the areas that most people tend to be weak in. Ankles is a big one. So maybe like calf raises, tib anterior raises. I'm probably going to aim for like 15 to 20 reps, right, on a lot of these kind of low level accessory work. On the glutes, you could probably aim for like 12 to 15 or even 15 to 20. But that just kind of gives you a bit of an idea. So I know this is just an example, but it just gives you a framework of you have your warm-up, you can do a few explosive exercises for your upper, then you can go into your strength work. So upper body tends to be a little bit more strength work compared to lower. In your lower work, you're going to focus maybe on doing a little bit of plyo. Regardless of where you're at in the season, you're always going to do plyos, just different intensities. Then you might go into your strength work. So maybe at the beginning of the season, you want to have a few more exercises in your strength work, right? Whereas towards the back end of the season, you're going to have less strength, more plyos, more intensive ones. And then you're always going to have a bit of accessory work. But this is why everyone's very, very different. And this is why your testing that we covered on Monday is so important. So hopefully that kind of gives you a bit of an idea of how you can structure your programming. But all of it comes back to your testing and understanding kind of how it all pieces together. So if you have any questions, right, because again, I'm trying to make these quick, 10-15 minutes, 10-15 minutes short, sharp, so you can just kind of take that info and go. But obviously, if you have any questions, you can just drop me a message. You can chuck it on the Facebook group and I'll happily answer them. But like I was talking about yesterday, guys, we're getting towards the back end of the week. So tomorrow, we're going to be going over kind of how we put all this together. We put kind of all the pieces of the puzzle. I'm excited to kind of talk about the opportunity off the back of it, where there's going to be kind of some limited spots for anybody who's actually wanting to take that game to the next level and they want to work with me on a one-to-one basis, a little bit more private, where we make sure that everything you're doing has a purpose and that you're getting the most out of your workouts and you're getting that optimal kind of progress, really, so that you're either jumping higher, running faster, a bit of both, and just become a better basketball player. So make sure you tune in, because that's dropping tomorrow. Like I said, limited spots on it. Super excited about where we're at, where we're going tomorrow, and putting it all together. So hopefully you have learned something today. And if you have any comments, questions, feedback, just hit me up, guys. But have a great Thursday. Have a great Friday tomorrow. We kind of put it all together. Tomorrow's probably going to be a little bit earlier for the live too, just because I'm done quite early. So don't stress if you're not there live. But like I said, those who do watch all the way through the video know it'll be coming, and you'll have kind of first dibs to anything that I'll be offering. So we'll see you soon, and speak soon.